right, before we get to our last game, which is the Monday night football game, I want to remind you, if you want to get free plays sent to your cell phone every day from Jim Feist, just go to the jimfeist.com website. Right on the front page, top right, you can put in a cell phone number, and you'll be texting winner to 313131. You get free plays from Jim every day right to your cell phone. Plus, if you want to subscribe to Jim's YouTube page, it's called Sports Betting. You just click on the subscription link right up above us. It's free, and you'll get direct updates from Jim every day with videos on team previews, free picks, pro line, all direct from Las Vegas, and it's free. All right, guys, we got this fascinating Monday night game between, suspect defenses, but absolutely sensational offenses, high-octane attacks. You know, Chip Kelly, I've seen a lot of college coaches come into the NFL and flop with what they were trying to do, and I had a lot of doubts about Kelly last year. But he proved me wrong. His no-huddle attack worked. They were terrific offensively in passing, a top 10 passing, plus number 1 in rushing. Oh, and they won the division, too. So this guy is getting very good production out of the talent that he has. A lot of offensive talent with Nick Foles, LaShawn McCoy, and Jeremy Maclin. He's back from last year's ACL injury. But there is some concern, though, with the defense. Dead last against the pass last year. And then what did we see in a very strange opener against Jacksonville? They're at home. They're down 17-0 in the third quarter as a big favorite. And then, well, kind of like his old Oregon team, they just blew them out in the second half. So, Harvard, it was a win and a cover for the Eagles, but it wasn't quite as easy as the final score might indicate.
Well, let me tell you one thing. I'm in one of these pools, last longer pools, and there's, I believe, $500,000 is first place. 85% of the players put in, there's no point spread or anything like that, but they all had Philadelphia. When myself included, I had Philadelphia. When I saw the score was 17-0, I thought, oh my gosh, the first week I'm going to be out of that contest for $500,000. And then all of a sudden they turned on their speed, the no huddle. It worked against a bad defense, I guess. And, when you're down 17-0 and then you win 34-17, that was the first time ever in the history of the NFL that a team has come back and, done that, being down 17 points at halftime and then doubling up like that. As you said, Philadelphia was 32nd against the pass last year. They tried to shore up their 3-4 defense, and it didn't work or anything. But if you had to pencil in somebody that's going to win their division, obviously it's going to be Philadelphia. I would take Philadelphia on any bet that they were going to win their division before Seattle or anybody like that, because they got Washington, New York Giants, and Dallas. So with that being said, I look for a little. I look for a little game because, it might work against a bad defense this game, and there's something about it. It seems like Foles is going to score a lot of points. But when you're playing Indianapolis, they have no running back to help Andrew Luck, so I don't even think you're going to fake anybody out and try to run. So why don't we just work Luck's arm and his determination and his soul and his character on the field and just start throwing the ball. They tried to run last week. They averaged 3 yards per carry. It didn't work. They were 4-13 on third downs. That didn't work. Reggie Wayne, he's back. He had 98 yards against Denver. Both teams, bad defense. I'm going to lay the 3 at home because it looks like the book is telling you it's an even money game, and I think Indianapolis might just have enough firepower with luck and determination against a bad defense against the pass. So let's go ahead and take Indianapolis and home team and lay the 3 points.
Well, some of the trends certainly back that. The Colts are 4-0 against the spread the last 4 home games. They're actually a terrific bounce-back team following a straight-up loss. They're 14-2 against the spread. Here's a Colts team that last year with offensive coordinator Pep Hamilton, he kept insisting we want to have balance, and they did to a certain extent, and that was part of the reason they traded for Trent Richardson, but it really didn't work out. The thing is, in that Week 1 game against Denver, we really didn't see it at all. When you're down 24-0, you can't stick to any kind of game plan that has offensive balance, and that's really the way it went. In the end, they got the cover, 31-24, cover or push, and they had plenty of yards, 408, but they got outrushed by a 2-1 margin, 102-52, and as you mentioned, just 3 yards per carry and struggled on third down. And this Colts defense, which is not very good, Denver was 7 of 14 on third down. If you're looking for a plus, Reggie Wayne was terrific. He's back and healthy, 9 catches for 98 yards. So, Zach, how do we see the Colts here? Well, do you think coming home is going to help them in this one?
I don't. I think sooner or later we're going to see these issues of them digging themselves a hole early on. is going to just cause a complete blowout. We saw it a couple times last year against the Rams. I forget the other team, but the blowouts are coming for this team. Just like Hollis mentioned, they're imbalanced offensively. They try to run the ball early. They dig themselves a hole with punting the football, and then they decide to just throw it. And it's going to get them a couple of touchdowns to get back in the game. But there was a little bit of reversal against the Denver Broncos with altitude and mile high. The defense was just tired, not playing 4 quarters. And that's the complete opposite with the Chip Kelly coach team. They're conditioned. They're trained to play 4 quarters with the athletes that they have. And they've got a little bit more mobility offensively. Nick Foles can scramble, unlike Peyton Manning, who can move in the pocket. I think those intense blitzes that the Colts brought against Peyton Manning, Foles will be able to throw over the top of them, either shifting to the left or to the right. And they should be able to score plenty of points and often. And also, you got to factor in the running backs, which is a tremendous upgrade with LaShawn McCoy and Darren Sproles, and with Broncos with Ball and Hillman. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Eagles on the road. I actually think this line's going to move down, so I'll get this in now. It might be +1 by the time we get to Monday night.
All right, very good. I'm going to conclude with the over in this game. The total's gone up from 52.5 to 53.5, and the over is 5-0 the last 5 meetings between these teams. And here you have 2 teams with suspect defenses, as we've already touched on, and tremendous high-octane offenses. I like to look at indoor games as going over, and here's one where you get the speed-oriented, no-huddle attack of the Eagles, who have been a great road team under Chip Kelly, and then the Philadelphia defense, dead last against the pass last year. They're 2-8-1 against the spread in September, but they're also 9-8 over the total run. Meanwhile, the Colts, they're on a 9-4 run over the total. And when the Colts face a team with a winning record, 7-1 over the total. And the Eagles, when they go out on the road under Chip Kelly, they're on a 7-2 run over the total. So that's the way I see this one. No defense, a very fun Monday night game with plenty of points. All right, let's tell you what we have going on, plus give us the best bets for the weekend. Harvard, you're on that sizzling run since August 1st, 27-10, really productive, too, in the college football, 5-2 and 5-2 in the first 2 weeks, plus a perfect 2-0 with the best bets here on the show. What do you have for week 3 coming up?
Well, the one thing I've learned, and a lot of people I've talked to for 31 years, I've been doing this thing. In the NFL, if you walk up to the window to make a bet out here in Las Vegas, and it makes you want to throw up by taking the team that you just bet, then you're on the right side. If you find a team that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy and you want to tell your friends, hey, go bet this game, go bet that game, you're probably on the wrong side. Well, I've got one that'll make you sick. It'll make you want to throw up. But we're going to go over to the St. Louis versus Tampa Bay game. Now, I think Lovie Smith is all hype. I think he's a bad coach at Chicago. I'm not sure that he's a good coach anywhere. I like the guy. I think he's a nice guy, but that doesn't mean you're going to win. Josh McCown, he's a career backup. He's overrated. Last week against Carolina, they had no defensive pressure, no sacks, and this is supposed to be, if anything, they're supposed to have some kind of defense. They didn't have that. Their running back game with Doug Martin, I think he got 9 yards. He stunk up the board. Now, on the St. Louis Rams side with Jeff Fisher, I love that guy as a coach. I think there's going to be that public perception. I do not handicap games with player versus player and personnel versus personnel. I handicap with how the odds maker, after 31 years, I'm in the head of every odds maker. I've been an odds maker, and I know what they expect to go ahead and put the line out based on public perception. Well, with all the hoopla with Sam Bradford being out, that was an overreaction. It's not a huge drop-off. The Viking blowout now. All the people that thought Sam Bradford being missing, now all of a sudden the Viking blowout, and then the quarterback that came in got knocked out. They had to use Austin Davis. There's all kinds of things that would make you think, wow, Tampa Bay at home, let's lay the points. I don't think so. The Rams shot themselves in the foot last week. They had 13 killer penalties. And remember this is a team that last year, playing in the NFC West, playing against teams like Seattle, training against them, San Francisco, Arizona. They were very respectable almost the entire year. I think Jeff Fisher, giving him the second week, prepare his team and everything, they can go into Tampa Bay and keep it respectable and turn that public perception back around and grab the points. I think it's 5.5 right now, and come out there. I don't even care if they come out there losing by 3 or 4 points. That's no big deal. I think it'll be a very close game, and it'll come down to the wire. So take the points with St. Louis, and let's look to get our best bet record up to 3-0. But I do say that your best bet is probably to go to jimfies.com. Click on my 3 games on Saturday for the college. There's going to be 3 underdogs that are going to get the cash, but 1 game, straight up winner. I'll identify that one, and that's the one I want you to put on the money line.
All right, and Zach Cimini, last 2 weeks ago, Saturday, college football week 1, 3-1 record. Last Saturday, 3-1 record. And then you start week 1 of the NFL, Sunday, a perfect 3-0. How can folks get aboard your plays, and what's your best bet?
Yeah, let's go back to jimfice.com. I'm going to have both a college and NFL sports package. Should be $50 a piece. And might have a combo pack as well for both of those. But just check on the site. On the bottom, Zach Cimini, and you can find me there. Before best bet, we're going to go to Thursday night between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers divisional matchup. 2 years ago, Thursday night games, divisional matchups, I think it was something in the high 70s of percentages for the under. And this one is one of the better matchups you can find for statistical under. We're talking since 2007 was the last time they had a matchup between these two teams that went over the total of 44 points. And I'll just go ahead and break it down for you. Last year, 2 matchups, 1916, 22-20. 2012, 13-10, 23-20. 2011, 35-7, 23-20. 2010, 17-14, 13-10. 2009, 20-17, 23-20. And 2008, 13-9, and 23-20. So as you can see, there's been quite a few that have been right under, and you can notice that, as Harvard was mentioning, the odds makers know this. You don't see a 42, you don't see a 43, you see that 44. And you'll see there was about 3 different times that we saw 23-20. And that's the biggest thing with these two teams. They know each other very well, and even though both teams move the football well, what ends up happening? They get in the red zone and they stumble. So we're eating the clock and we're kicking field goals. Eating the clock, kicking field goals. And that is a nightmare for people that have the over. And you're going to see a lot of Tucker out on the field and Schweezum kicking field goals in this matchup. So plus, you got to factor in the headlines, obviously, with Ray Rice and Pittsburgh Steelers also coming off an absolute horrible second half. You know their defensive coordinator is going to be up their butts to come out and play a little bit better. But so I'm going to play the under on this game as your Thursday night best bet of the week.
Okay, very good. And I'll go look at a total going on Sunday. Defenses are often ahead of the offenses here in September. Seattle, San Diego will be playing. I'll look at that game under the total. Seattle 7-2 run under the total. They're also 8-3 under the total in September. San Diego, difficult matchup because it's a short week for them. They did play great defense on Monday night. They're also part of a 6-1 run under the total. And when these teams meet, the last 7 meetings, 5-2 under the total. I'll take the Seahawks and the Chargers under the total. If you're looking for winning selections this weekend, Jim Fice, perfect 2-0 with college football games of the month. He has a shocker game of the month for Saturday, plus a Thursday. He has a rivalry game of the month in the NFL. You can find his plays and more all at jimfice.com. We will see you next week with another edition of the NFL version of Proline. We'll see you then.